Santa Ana winds could pick up but also push Palisades fire back onto itself, says battalion chief. Winds could pick back up in the coming days after a brief reprieve, posing a potential threat as firefighters work to contain 4 major fires still burning across Los Angeles. But it could also offer an unexpected boon by changing the direction of the blaze, said CAL FIRE Battalion Chief Brent Pasqua. Speaking to CNN Saturday night, Pasqua said fire crews had worked 24/7 all night to reinforce the fire lines they'd created, which are boundaries created by clearing away fuels like vegetation and digging down to the soil level to help prevent fires and embers from spreading. Today was a very productive day. We used all our aircraft, our air tankers, our helicopters in conjunction with our hand crews, hose lays, he said. There is a risk the next few days bring Santa Ana winds, which are hot, dry gusts that flow down the sides of mountains toward the California coast, and could jeopardize those fire lines. However, Pasqua said it could also change the direction of the fires. The Palisades fire has been moving east in the past day, pushing toward Interstate 405, but Santa Ana winds can blow to the west. So if the winds do arrive, it's actually going to move the fire away from the freeway and head back towards the coast. It will blow this fire pretty much back onto itself, he said. That's what happened in the Encino area on Saturday. Shifting wind directions push the fire back where there's already land burned and there's no fuel to burn, helping crews contain the fire edge, he said. It looks really good. Firefighters make progress on containing Palisades fire edge. Firefighters are making promising progress on the Palisades fire, with Operations Chief Christian Litz describing minimal activity in some parts as crews stop the spread of the fire's boundary and cool off hotspots. In the Topanga Canyon and Sylvia Park area, that edge of that fire has not moved. It looks really good, he said, speaking at a Palisades community meeting Saturday evening. The fire moved further east on Friday, and we did have some activity there, he said, but we've built a robust plan as the situation changes for us, as it cools throughout the night. As the activity goes down, they're going to attack it from both sides. Crews are using aircraft including helicopters and airplanes, with engines and crews on the ground that have been working nonstop, to the point their vehicles are coated in the bright pink of retardant being sprayed everywhere. Toward Mandeville Canyon, where the blaze shifted on Friday, forcing expanded evacuation orders and warnings. The fire is down, said Litz. Winds in our favor in that area, so it looks really good. We have to continue to work hard in that area to secure it. In Pacific Palisades, the boundary of the fire hasn't moved in several days, but crews are still hard at work going through damaged structures and making sure there aren't lingering hotspots or further fire damage. Death toll from Eaton and Palisades fires climbs to 16. The death toll from the Eaton and Palisades fires has climbed to 16, the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner said Saturday. 5 of the deaths appear to be from the Palisades fire and 11 deaths in the Eaton fire, according to the office's records. Of the 16 cases reported by the medical examiner, 10 involve confirmed human remains. FBI is seeking public's help in identifying operator of drone that grounded plane fighting wildfires. From CNN's Emma Tucker. The FBI said it is seeking the public's help in identifying a suspect after a civilian drone collided with a Canadian Super Scooper aircraft fighting the Palisades fire on Thursday, forcing it to be grounded. These fire suppression efforts using aircraft is probably the most effective tool that our firefighters have against fighting these fires to help contain them, Akil Davis, FBI Assistant Director in charge of the Los Angeles Field Office, told CNN on Saturday. When you take one plane out of commission like that, it's going to impact the speed in which the fire grows. It's going to cause loss of property, potentially loss of life, and it's a danger to everybody all around. Akil Davis. The aircraft in question, called Quebec 1, sustained a 3-by-6-inch hole in its wing from a privately owned drone, some pieces of which authorities were able to recover, said Davis. It is a violation of federal law to fly drones in areas where the Federal Aviation Administration instituted a temporary flight restriction in Southern California due to the wildfires, Davis added. Highlighting the dangers in flying drone flights around wildfires, Davis said a hole such as the one sustained by Quebec 1 could have spread across the wing and take the entire aircraft down. And now we're dealing with a plane crash in the middle of a historic wildfire for Southern California, Davis continued. These drones are nothing to be played with. While it is challenging to identify the operator of a privately owned drone, Davis said the FBI field office in Los Angeles is working with local and state partners to identify private citizens that are violating the temporary flight restriction by operating drones in these areas. The agency has drone mitigation capability, said Davis, who wouldn't elaborate further on what type of technology is being employed. The FBI is asking anyone with information leading to the operator of the drone in question to contact them. Potential penalties for the offense can range from significant fines to prison time, or a combination of both. Davis said water agency says all hydrants in Pacific Palisades were working before fires. All of the fire hydrants in the Pacific Palisades and in LA's West Side communities were fully operational prior to the devastating wildfires, the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power said in a Saturday news release. No power was lost to LADWP pump stations during the fire and water supply remains strong to the area, reads the release. But water pressure in the system was lost due to unprecedented and extreme water demand to fight the wildfire without aerial support, causing around 20% of hydrants in the area to lose suction pressure, according to the release. The utility says it deployed potable water tankers to help support the firefighting effort. The release adds that the agency was required to take the Santa Ynez Reservoir out of service to meet safe drinking water regulations. LADWP didn't specify if this may have affected the water supply. To commission the support and resources to implement repairs to Santa Ynez, LADWP is subject to the city charter's competitive bidding process, which requires time, the utility added. Some context. On Friday, Governor Gavin Newsom called for an independent investigation into why the Santa Ynez Reservoir was out of service and what caused some hydrants to lose water pressure in the midst of multiple devastating wildfires. The ongoing reports of the loss of water pressure to some local fire hydrants during the fires and the reported unavailability of water supplies from the Santa Ynez Reservoir are deeply troubling to me and to the community, Newsom wrote in a letter, which he posted on X on Friday. Some Eaton fire evacuation orders lifted. From CNN's Nuran Salahai. Some Eaton fire evacuation orders have been lifted for California residents in the cities of Bradbury and Duarte, as well as parts of La Canada Flintridge, according to a news release from the Los Angeles